Russian President Vladimir Putin began a two-day visit to India on Thursday, 4th December, hoping to boost sales of Russian oil, missile systems, and fighter jets as part of efforts to revive energy and defense ties strained by U.S. pressure on the South Asian nation. For Modi, the visit is a delicate balancing act as he faces increasing pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump's administration to scale back energy and economic relations with Moscow. Russia has supplied weapons to India for decades, with New Delhi emerging as a top buyer of its seaborne oil despite Western sanctions after Moscow launched its invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. However, India's crude oil imports are expected to hit a three-year low this month, following tightened sanctions on Russia coinciding with increased purchases of U.S. oil and gas. On his first visit in 4 years to India's capital to attend a summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Putin will be accompanied by his Defense Minister Andriy Belosov and a delegation of businesses and industry leaders. Amitabh Singh, a professor at the Center for Russian and Central Asian Studies at the prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi, called the visit significant given the headwinds come from Washington. Ahead of Putin's visits, officials from both sides held discussion across various sectors, from defense to shipping and agriculture. In August, they agreed to begin talks on a free trade deal between India and the Russia-led Eurasian Economic Union. They are also in talks to expand cooperation in civilian nuclear energy, Indian analysts said. Putin's delegation includes senior officials from Russia's largest bank Sberbank and state arms exporter Rosoboronexport, as well as executives from sanctions oil companies Rosneft and Gazpromneft, said an industry source with direct knowledge of the matter. Negotiations in Delhi are expected to see Russia seeking India's help in easing Western sanctions on Moscow and on India's Nayara energy refinery, partly owned by Rosneft, the industry source and other Indian government officials said. Moscow also wants India's assistance in sourcing spare parts and technical equipment for its oil asset, whose access to major suppliers has been restricted by sanctions, they added. Indian officials are cautious that any new energy or defense agreements with Russia could trigger a backlash from US President Donald Trump, who doubled tariff to 50% in August on Indian goods as punishment for New Delhi's purchases of Russian crude. India hopes to finalize a U.S. trade agreement by the end of the year, as most of its refineries have stopped by buying Russian oil. Although growing discounts have recently begun attracting interest from several state-run refineries.